Olá pessoal, estamos recebendo aqui no stand da ABSOLAR o Wedepohl, que é o diretor para negócios internacionais da BSW, a Associação Alemã de Energia Solar, parceira da ABSOLAR. Welcome to Brazil, David. I know this is your first time here and your first time in Intersolar South America. What are you thinking of the event, and thank you for being here with us?
Well, first of all, I have to apologize for being late. The halls are so packed with people that I couldn't get through. Oh my God, what you have built here, it's amazing. I know that Intersolar is busy everywhere it is on the planet, and certainly in Munich. But I had not expected this, both in the conference and the vibe. You can feel the energy when you walk through here. So, needless to say, I'm very impressed. I've had some amazing conversations, but it makes me unpunctual as a German because I can't get through the halls.
Yeah, I know for Germans it's difficult not to be punctual, but the reason is good, as you explained. So tell me a little bit about how is solar moving in Germany, and also other technologies that are already gaining traction there, such as energy storage. How is BSW seeing this movement coming up in the country?
Well, we had a very, very strong market at home and of course globally. And as you know, the Germans built just a little bit above 15 gigawatts last year. So we were competing hard with Brazil, but in the end, I would say in the penalties, you won the third place. Yeah, so Brazil is now officially the third largest market in the world. Oh my God. Yeah, so you surpassed the fatherland of solar, so to say, but our market is also quite interesting and quite strong. So we are seeing growth in all sectors: residential, commercial, industrial, and utility scale. But our market is different than yours, even though you have a very similar size, as that half of the power, half of the gigawatts in Germany are built on the roof. So of the 15, we built 7.5 residential. We're seeing a shift in that this year in 2024 towards commercial industrial roofs and utility scale. Germany is very densely populated, so most systems are going to be built on something. And some of these systems, they have been around since the early 1990s. That's when we started with the feed-in tariff, the first one, the Vorschaltgesetz. And that's maybe interesting about our market because a lot of things happen first there. For instance, the trend towards battery storage started in 2012. But what we are seeing now in residential in particular, 80% of all new systems are installed with a battery.
80%?
80, yes. And about 60% with charging infrastructure. I've seen a lot of that here as well. And 40% with a heat pump, because when Germans think of energy, they need to heat their home, not cool it.
Very nice, very impressive numbers. And how do you see also the opportunities, for example, of these, how do you call this, facade systems, the systems on the terraces? This is something different.
So one of the things about Germany, as I said, is things happen first there. We built 1 million systems last year, 1 million systems within 1 year. But a new kid is on the block, and it's called the plug-in solar. So in Germany, home ownership rate isn't particularly high. Most people rent. So in order for people to participate, they put the systems on the balcony, on the facade of the building, and they just plug it in with a regular plug to feed into, before the meter, into their grid. And we lobbied very hard for that to be possible.
So there is a regulation or a law that allows it?
There's a law that allows it. There are certain technical limitations, and of course the systems have to comply to certain safety standards. But it has been very, very popular. And storage, it's sometimes combined with small storage, but we're also seeing the larger storage units. If you have a 5 or 13 kW system, both commercial and residential. And the reason for that is, at home, the prices for lithium storage have halved last year, 50% slash in prices. So now it's becoming more and more viable, and people are doing it for economic reasons. They're not doing it as a backup. Grid downtime in Germany is between 11 and 12 minutes per year.
Here in Brazil, we are at some hours per year, right?
better than hours in a day. You know, there's some places like that. But, you know, battery storage, 600,000 systems installed last year. We're seeing that very strongly. And we're seeing and working on having grid beneficial storage. There's something that we have to change in our legislation to make it possible that the storage systems can act towards price signals and signals that they get from the grid, so they can help stabilize the grid, because after all, we have a lot of fluctuating energy. Our energy systems are vastly different. Brazil having a lot of hydro, almost 50%. Germany has 4%, and we're phasing out nuclear. We're already phased out. We're phasing out coal. So we have very intermittent energies, 27%, wind, going on 30, and over 12% going on 15 on solar. So there's a lot of things, smart things that you have to do to your existing grid. And one of the solutions is storage to time shift and stabilize the grid.
Excellent. And you were commenting as well, Germany has a long-term plan for this energy transition, right? I believe it's something like 2035. By then, the idea is to decarbonize the grid. Is this correct? You told us during the conference here that the government even asked for more from the sector. Can you share this different story?
Yes, actually it's a bit funny. It's the first time this happened to us. When we drew up our 2030 goals together with wind and biomass and hydro, with all the other technologies, and see what the mix should be, we came up for solar at 200 gigawatts installed capacity by 2030, which is around the corner, by the way, but we're on track to do it. But the government came back and did the calculation, said please build 215. So this had never happened to us before, and we're very happy that we have the capacity and the people to build it, because that was something we were concerned about. Do we have enough trained people to install and maintain all these systems, particularly because there are so many, because they're on the roofs, they're distributed very widely, and we have seen very strong movement from companies and people coming into the sector, and that's maybe the one piece of advice that we would like to give. Train people now. We can't understate how many people you're going to need to plan and install all the systems if you want to meet your energy needs.
Which for the government is good news, because it means a lot of jobs. But you're right, we need to work as a sector to train more people, to get them ready before this boom comes up, otherwise it becomes a bottleneck, right? I wanted to have your thoughts also on electromobility, because this is something that we have seen Germany move very fast. Is this helping solar?
The combination, as we have seen with battery storage and 60% of new systems being installed with charging infrastructure, is very good. We have challenges in the rollout of electromobility. It's not going as fast as we would like it to. The legislation has moved, but the consumers remain a little bit skeptical, even though I would say the infrastructure is good. I personally drive an electric car and had it for a while and never had any trouble. But there are some prejudices about, you know, where you can go or what are you going to do. So I think that's human nature, and it has to be overcome. And also prices have to come down. I think that's the big factor. But it certainly works, and if legislation is adopted that you can use your electric vehicle as a battery for your home as well, then this gets really interesting. Also with aspects of the grid. This is what the Americans are doing. You can register, in California, you can register your electric car, and you can use it actually to stabilize the grid. So there's huge potential in blending and bringing all of these technologies together, solar, storage, and electromobility, to build a whole new ecosystem, because after all, we want to change the system. We want to change the system towards renewable energy. I know Brazil is far ahead of us, but when you add the intermittent energies, storage really is key in any shape or form that you can do.
David, this was wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, and we very much look forward to meeting you also in other events such as Intersolar Europe There will be another edition of it next year. ABSOLAR goes every year to this event to speak as well. And also we wanted to thank BSW for the partnership, because we are building into this partnership and also discussing now energy storage, the potential of green hydrogen. So thank you once again, and I hope you enjoy the event.
Thank you so much. We are learning so much from what's going on here, and to see that vibe and that energy that you bring to the sector, go Brazil, we look forward to working with you.